Trying new foods can be scary, especially for younger kids, but there are some ways to get the little ones in your home to be more adventurous when it comes to food. Joining me now with some expert tips is registered dietitian Amy Reed. Amy, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You know, a lot of this comes down to preparation, presentation, and kind of changing that up to help our kids. So let's start with one of these ways that we can do that. It comes to changing the shape of the food.
Yeah, so a lot of times you may have kids that they only want to have peanut butter and jelly for their lunch. So what you could sometimes do is say, maybe you should offer the choice, like, could they have it in triangles or could they want it in rectangles? And that's just changing one small little thing to show them that foods can be offered in different ways. So you could also change the shape of foods that you offer, like fruits and vegetables. Like sometimes you could slice an apple and you could slice it or put it in wedges. So that would change the shape of it as well.
You know, I'm guessing this next one's probably going to be a big one for a lot of kids. It's changing the form of the food, how it's prepared. How can that help?
So as far as the form would be, like, for example, I myself do not like mushrooms, but I'll eat cream of mushroom soup. I have a son that doesn't eat raw tomatoes, but he'll eat tomato soup. So we're just changing that form of it. Another big one would be smoothies. So you may say they only eat raw strawberries. Well, maybe try it in a smoothie and see if they like it in a smoothie to show that it can be offered in a different shape, or a different form. The other way would be the cooking preparation. So some kids may not like raw carrots, but you might be able to roast them. When you roast a vegetable, it makes it sweeter and it makes it a little bit softer and easier to eat at times. So those are ways you can change the form as well.
You know, this is something, this next one, dealing with different textures. I think kids deal with that, but even some adults deal with this as well. How can changing up the textures really help our kids?
So a lot of kids prefer crunchy texture. I hear a lot of parents say, oh, they won't touch a fruit or a vegetable, but they'll eat any cracker or chip I put in front of them. Well, the good thing is now we have a lot of different fruits and vegetables that can come in kind of a crunchy form. One way is freeze-dried fruit, where they kind of remove the moisture and it makes it crunchy. So for example, here I have a freeze-dried apple and it's like a dried apple chip. And when I crack it in two, it crunches. That's something you could use to explore with your child. There's also a lot of veggie crackers. This is a cracker that's like a sweet potato and carrot cracker. And the first ingredient is carrots. So it will have some of that flavor and it cracks just like a cracker does. So you're showing them this is something different, but it's got the same texture as something that you like. So it might be a way to start expanding their variety a little bit.
You know, if there are parents who are wanting to start expanding that variety, like you said, with their kids, is there a certain way to really implement this, or how often should parents be doing this just to make sure they're effective with it?
Well, I would think one simple way. So March is National Nutrition Month, and one of the focuses of National Nutrition Month is meal prep and meal planning. So when they're planning their meals, maybe make sure there's at least one food that week that is going to somehow challenge them in some way, whether it be offering it in a different shape or a different form or a different texture than their kids are used to. And in planning on that rather than just making it be a last minute thing. The other thing is sometimes parents will try all these tips and they say, I have tried it all. What can I do? Well, that might be when you have to bring a professional in. Parents can always contact Cincinnati Children's and ask to see if they could speak with a registered dietitian or see them in our outpatient clinic. You can find information on that on cincinnatichildrens.org if they look up the nutrition therapy department, and they can make an appointment with the dietitian and discuss it.
All great information, Amy. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.